will talk about Dharma and grace, and we will talk about what empowers us as humans and what really sets us up on the path of our supreme destiny individually and together. We will speak about specifically like how to become so strong, so rooted in truth that the doors really open in front of you, and all you get to do is surrender and surrender more and lean into that river of grace, the river of Dharma that is carrying you. Hello from Russia, beautiful humans. I am here in my birthplace in Moscow and spending a lot of time with my family. It's also super nice to have my beloved here. He finally gets to meet my family, and we've been really busy, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's everywhere in the world or like just here. The time goes so fast. Like in the end of literally every day, we are like, how did it go so fast? How is it like already 9 p.m.? What is going on? Do you guys feel that way as well? So we've been really busy, and actually today was the first day when we didn't see anyone, and I just really focused on my work, and I had some meetings with my ISIS codes women and around the deep feminine module, and also now I am here with you, and I want to announce something pretty cool that is coming up as a part of celebration of my birthday, because July is my birthday month, and it's also really special actually to be here in my birth land and see really beautiful close humans in my life, and just connect also these places where I've walked. Like sometimes we are passing certain places with Oliver, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I walked here thousands of times, and sometimes I even remember what I was thinking and who I was being as I was walking these streets. So it's like an interesting moment of like kind of collecting different parts of myself as I am about to enter my 37th year of life, or I will turn 37, so I'll be actually entering 38th year of my life. And it's a special place to be. That's what I want to say. And as I love to include my community to celebrate with me in various ways, this year I am popping a masterclass, which was a secret offer until now, but in this live I want to share with you what's actually going to be a part of this masterclass. It is a masterclass, yes, and what's going to be a part of it, and why it is such an important thing for me. And I know that when something is deeply important for me, when something really deeply moves me at particular times of my life, but this particular theme actually is something that is so central in my life, that it's always so close in my heart, and that's even the reason why I do all my work, why I do everything. But I know that when I speak about something, when I create from this place, of something that's so deeply significant for me, it means that it is also that way for others. And certainly for those who are close to me, for those who feel connected to me, I know it will be right on point for you. So I wonder if you are familiar with the goddess Durga. And Durga is a very specific energy in this universe, because this is what the goddesses are. In my tradition, in the tantric tradition, we see goddesses as aspects of creation, and very sacred aspects of creation, so sacred that by communing with each one of them, we actually offer a direct path to the divine, that we don't need any intermediaries like it is considered in kind of traditional spirituality. We actually can see from my Indian friends, of course, know Durga. Durga is a very worshipped goddess in India, but possibly also our Western friends might also know her or have some experiences with her even. So anyway, she is an aspect of reality, and she is seen as a warrior goddess. Yeah, so she's depicted quite fierce. She's riding her own tiger, or sometimes you see a lion, and she is like this warrioress. Like she has this posture of a warrior. She's with this furry animal between her legs, and she is like, she can defend, she can protect, she can show up for what is right, and she can protect us from what is wrong. And although many of you will know my work through the works like my courses such as the Deep Feminine and the work around feminine sexuality and sensuality, and also my mixed gender groups where we are really focusing on that. Like for example, my next in-person retreat that's coming up, it's called Divine Eros Immersion, where we really work with this very juicy, very powerful energy, which then in turn actually really how cool, Ash, I love that you feel her. That, you know, through the portal of our sensuality and open and ashamed eroticism, we are tapping into our greatest power, because we are really unlocking our energetic body. We are really opening to be the conduits for divine grace. You know, that's the reason, although it looks so just juicy and fun, and also brings so much pleasure to our lives and improves our relationships and makes us shine from inside. Like there are so many advantages of this work, but then like the reason I'm doing it is not that, it's deeper. So you may see that in the forefront of my brand and in the forefront of my work for many years now, for more than 10 years now. But there is a layer that is deeper than that, and that is more intimately connected to what I am all about. It won't be news for those of you who know me really well and who work with me closely. It may be news for some of you, but Durga and her essence is very close to my heart, to what even moved me to offer my work in the very first place. It was a very particular moment, because I started doing my work and offering my work as a service in 2012. And then in 2013 it went deeper. And then, so because I then started to work more with women in 2013, and started to involve more sacred sexuality work, and it was just so effortless, so natural. And then I started to create temple spaces, and so it was evolving, but still it felt like I was running retreats, and it felt like still like a bit of a hobby, I would say, a bit of something that is just sweet in my heart. It is, I love to be in those kind of spaces. I love to do this kind of practice, so I'm offering them, and we're getting together with women. Like, what can be better than that? But in 2015, something very significant happened to me. I had a very big experience of consciousness, a very big. Even though I was already doing meditation and prolonged meditation retreats, I was in an 8-month-long meditation retreat by then already. Still in 2015, I prepared space. It's like, that's what in my close students and my close clients will know, that I speak about it, how we prepare space internally for grace to come. It's like we cannot really like create profound experiences for ourselves. What we can do is prepare the space for the grace to come into our life and to kiss us from inside. And so that's what I was doing all these years. Ever since the beginning of my spiritual path in 2009, 2010, I was preparing the soil for 2015. When in 2015, I had a profound experience, just of limitlessness, of my own limitlessness, of the sense that I am everything, I am everywhere. And it's so hard to put it into words, that just in that moment and that experience, because it lasted for months. It was very profound, like a washing, a cleansing, a revelation. And all I was left with was gratitude. Like, you know, if I could say something, it was just, thank you. like, I'm grateful, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's it. Like, that's all I could connect to. And it's not this kind of gratitude where it's like, now you may hear those kind of practices where it's like, okay, in the end of the day, list like 15 things you're grateful for, or 3 things, or whatever. Start your day with gratitude. This is kind of like, we can do it, and these are good things, like to really focus on what is already good in our lives. But it also can happen top down. That's why gratitude is special, actually. Not only because it puts you in a better state of mind, but because it's a natural state. When it happens top down, it's like when grace lands for you and you have direct experiences of God, because that's what it is. Yeah, you directly experience the divine. When you directly experience your limitlessness, when you directly experience the quantum field, it's the same thing. So you open, and then all you're left with is gratitude, because there's no way to explain it. There's nothing to say about it. It's just thank you, like thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, there was one night when particularly it was like in the nature in Portugal, and I was staying in a tent, and I was walking towards my tent, and then I sat in front of my tent open, and I was just walking and just feeling this gratitude or something, not thinking so much. And then I sit in front of my tent, and I open my tent, and then I start crying, like howling kind of crying. Like children cry with this like you cannot catch your breath. It's like you're almost suffocating. So I started to cry like that, and it lasted for a really long time. I could not stop. And then if you ask me, why did you cry, you're sad, I'm like, no. It's just this release, just this massive opening. And then all I could think, thank you, thank you. All thoughts were here in this mind, were thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then at some point it shifted, and I started laughing. And I couldn't stop laughing. And I was laughing and laughing and laughing. And all I was thinking was, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's how I can explain this. And then after that, I changed. I was a changed person. I was still married at that time, and my ex-husband was close to me, and he couldn't understand what was actually going on for me. But it was so big I couldn't explain. And then I encountered Durga. In about 2 months after that moment, I met Durga, and everything made sense to me. It's like it was one of those moments. There are those precious moments in life when you look at your whole life and everything makes sense. All the pain, all the violence I've experienced, all the disasters, all the craziness, all the suffering, everything, all the joy, all the choices I blamed myself for, everything made sense. It's just like everything just closed. Whatever that was open in my life, where I was questioning something, it was just complete. And Durga showed up in that moment in my life. And what she showed me was that my things that I like to do, gather with people, do practices and those things, that all of that was not just a play. All of that was so sacred because it was me communing with the divine. Because it was taking me to such a pure place inside of myself that it was just this action that comes from a recognition, action that comes from an experience. Sometimes people say okay, so with the practices, with energetic work, what do we just sit there and kind of wait until clients start coming in, work starts happening by itself and stuff like that? And I'm like, no. Actually, when you have an experience, it's such a deep experience that really shapes who you are, you cannot help but act. And that's what was happening to me, and that's what I saw. That actually these actions, these offerings, this work that I was giving to the world and continue doing so, it's me that I cannot help but do. I cannot help but invite you in. I cannot help but create this. I cannot help but go deeper. Because it's so big what is going on inside. I cannot help. It's just, it's pouring out of me. So Durga is the goddess of longing. So interesting, because she is this warrior, she is this fierce, feminine, dark force of power. But she is a goddess of longing. What does it mean? It means that she feels her divine nature so profoundly and it's her longing that takes her there. So she feels it. She feels this yearning for the divine embrace, for the eternal beloved to be there, to merge with him, to love him, to be who she is. She feels it so deeply, and she calls for it, and she cries for it, that inevitably beloved responds to her call. And that's why she starts to act, and she becomes the warrioress, and she reveals herself as the warrioress. That's why. Because she is so deeply touched. Because she is so merged. She is so connected. And when you are so merged with the divine, when you have experiences of that at least, because you may have an experience of that in a practice that I've guided you into. This feedback I get all the time, that people have those direct experiences through the practices that I'm guiding. Even if it's just like for 20 minutes of the practice, or if it's just for a split second there, this is it. This is a kiss of grace. And don't take it for granted. Don't say like, oh, well, it came, it goes, it doesn't matter. I have things to do. I have kids to look after. I have things to experience. Don't take it for granted. This is a blessing. And it's a privilege to experience that. And so when you experience that, you hold it as a precious gift. And then you cannot help but move and act and create and be moved by grace. And this is where this most profound human experience, I believe, one of the most profound human experiences in a whole entire creation, is to experience what it feels like to get out of your own way. To get out of your own way means to not believe so much the personality, the mind, but not have an idea or a concept, but know that the greatest power is the power of the divine. And you can get out of the way, you can become transparent enough so that you let that power move through you. And this is how you create great things on this planet. And this is what my upcoming offer is dedicated to. Because we live in very interesting times. We live in times when the forces of light and the forces of dark have equal power. And there are certain things that I do not talk about intentionally. And I will be able to talk about them in closed containers. So that's why this masterclass. There are certain things I want to talk about, and I want to guide processes and practices, things that I cannot speak about publicly, things that are not for everyone. And these things are very important because of this power, of this dark and light force, and all the nonsense, all the difficult things, all the strange things that are happening on our planet. We can be either feeding them unconsciously, if we have a certain susceptibility, certain vulnerability to those energies that are behind those events, or we can be empowering an entirely different paradigm, a paradigm of light, a paradigm of beauty, of truth. And in the way we lead ourselves, our lives, our communities, the way we run businesses, the way we show up online, the way we show up offline, all of that, there is a way to do it being anchored in the truth, in the light, and ultimately in the way that supports the evolution and prosperity of humanity. Or we can do it in a way, and unconsciously, because no one will want to do that consciously, no one will choose it consciously, but unconsciously we may be plugged into a paradigm that actually leads to degradation of the human spirit. And it is very common, and we have to be very honest with ourselves, and we cannot afford to let ourselves get sucked into that. It is really dangerous. So this masterclass, my upcoming masterclass, tadam, the title is Dharma and Grace. So we will talk about Dharma and grace, and we will talk about what empowers us as humans and what really sets us up on the path of our supreme destiny individually and together. We will speak about specifically like how to become so strong, so rooted in truth that the doors really open in front of you, and all you get to do is surrender and surrender more and lean into that river of grace, the river of Dharma that is carrying you. Because when we lean into our Dharma, we actually always show up for the highest good of all. It's when we get out of ourselves, that's when we start to encounter lots of struggles and lots of difficulties and lots of confusion. But it's like you're getting out of yourself and you don't feel like yourself anymore. And even if it's happening for a moment, and it's like we all stumble, and that's also an important human experience, to stumble, to lose my way. These things were so important for me on my path, and to lose my way and then to get up and to lose my way and to stumble and to drop and to fall and get up and get up and get up. That's why I'm still here all these years later. I didn't give up for a moment, because I know every time I get up, I'm more and more strong, I'm more and more anchored, I'm more and more truthful, I'm more and more me. And so in Dharma and Grace, we're gonna bring a lot of grace, a lot of grace. We're also gonna celebrate my birthday. My birthday is on the 20th, and the masterclass starts on the 24th. So we will have a celebration. It will last 3 days. Plus, I'm also giving you a bonus Q&A day. So 3 + 1 days, starting on the 24th. All the details are in my bio. I love you too. Thank you for being here. All the details are in my bio. Jump in. It will be epic. Also, the price that's there is like, it's gonna increase. So right now, it's a gift, really. It's like, there's no price for what we're gonna do there. There's really no price for this. It's gonna be outstanding. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be deeply transformative, deep and true, and it will set you up onto a trajectory of truth in your life, and there won't be any turning back from there. And we're gonna also celebrate and practice embodiment work and things like this. So it's gonna be juicy and fun and deep and all the things we love. So I'd love to have you there, and thank you for being here. I love you so much.